Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Monday Night Insights. I am your host. My name is Pia Maffei. I am owner of IamACleanEater.com, owner of Artisan's Palette, and also creator of the 10 Commandments for Clean Eating. I'm joined again this evening by Beth. She's here with me today, and we were just thinking, we're just having so much fun.
Oh, heck yeah.
All the time. And we're having so much fun in particular because we're working together on our new course. It's called Get Food Smart, Join My Tribe. And this class, fingers crossed, will be available closer to the beginning of January. And we're creating all the materials and activities, and it's just so much fun.
Oh yeah, I'm totally absorbed in it. So
yes.
I'm really excited about it, and I hope you guys are excited about it too.
Yes. So today we started talking. Back in March, I had a big birthday. I turned 50. And I was getting a lot of really nice, texts and all this stuff of, welcome to the club type text.
Or like it's all downhill from here.
Yeah.
You'll start getting those black balloons. The over the hill balloons or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, no. Right.
Well, we just don't celebrate older birthdays the way we should. It becomes this like tongue-in-cheek thing, like, well, it's all down, it's all downhill from here,
right.
and okay, welcome to the old folks club, and it's like get ready for nothing to go right, and I'm just like, oh, that's really negative.
Yes. And again, I'm not a big fan of clubs and joining clubs, so it was like, no, I don't want to be part of this club. Whatever this is, not my thing. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it sparked something in me at that time, and I wrote a blog, and the blog is called One Word for Each Decade. And I thought, well, I'm all about this thing of how old do I plan on living and how long do I plan on going. And many of you know me, and you know that my number minimum is 120. That's my minimum number, 120, okay? And I don't take that lightly. So I have a whole strategy, and this is a big part of our course.
Absolutely.
Of all the questions you've got to ask yourself and understand, and how to create a strategy to get to the number you want to get to. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, I'm already at 50, so I plan on living till 120. And if I started to kind of really dig deep and take a deep dive into, if I had just one word to describe these decades, what would those words be? So I'm going to post that blog at the end of this, but I gave that challenge to Beth this weekend because Beth is on her journey for clean eating. And so part of the activities, and one of the activities is, if you had to really start to dig deep and identify your words for each decade that you've lived so far, what would they be, and how much fun would it be if we started to share these words? Because she started to share with me, and I was like, hold on, we got to get on video.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, let's do the video on that. And I was like, okay.
Yes, because she started with her words, and she's 35, so 15 years younger than me. So guess what? She only has 3 words, right? So she knew my 5 words. And if you want to know my 5 words, you could go to IamACleanEater.com. Go to the blog section, and you'll see the blog there, one word for each decade. So we're going to talk
like
about
a
that now.
Scrabble-looking image.
Yeah.
So it's
easy.
It's easy
Did
to
you
identify.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So I think I found the perfect
It's easy
picture.
to find.
It was so good. So I want to update you guys on Beth's journey because she's doing so well. And then we're going to dovetail into what her 3 words are so far for her decades, and how the blog inspired her and where she's at. So that's kind of what today is about. So let's first start with where are you just very generally on your clean eating journey, how it's working with the program that we're going to be having, and just, from a very succinct
thing?
Yes.
Well, I'm still at 85%. It's that last 15% I struggle with because you know, like for my dad's birthday, you know, I did suggest a couple different alternate restaurants that would have been better for me as a clean eater. But he was really into this one in Bonsall, and, you know, I did find out that they had, you know, a couple organic things on the menu, which was great. Yeah. And that was better than nothing.
Yes.
And then, you know, I kind of have my protocols for if I do end up in that situation, I make the cleanest choice that I can.
Yes.
So I've done well with that.
Perfect.
But yeah, I found out that the butternut squash raviolis that I ordered, well, the butternut squash is organic, but nothing else is. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, well, okay, it's sort of a better choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's
that's
like
so common.
So it's like when I'm meeting friends and family, friends are a little easier, but family's a little stubborn.
Okay.
So, and then it was my dad's birthday, so I was kind of like, okay, well, you know, I tried to get there.
Right. But he wants this place because it's his birthday.
Right. He wants this place because it's his birthday, so, you know, it ended up like that. So there's, you know, probably one of those, you know, maybe every other week. Okay. So it's still better than like twice a week.
Sure.
Which, you know, or 2 or 3 times a week, which is where I used to be. Yep. So it's definitely showing some progress. But that last 15%, you know, working with family and friends to find, you know, alternate places I can eat or bring in my own food. Mm-hmm. Now I've been successful when I've seen movies just recently, because I saw 2 this last weekend. Okay. And I brought my my little base culture brownie guy, the pumpkin bread. Oh, yeah. And then I brought my peely nuts. Okay, and so I had 4 of those, so I had 2 for each movie, and that was my strategy. And, you know, I went to the theater in Marietta that has, like, kind of the swanky seats. Oh, yeah. And, like, they order food to your table, and then there's, like, people next to me, and they have these, you know, baskets of chicken fingers and you know,
the
fries
industrial
and
food,
you know, the industrial food. And, you know, so I had smuggled in my water and smuggled in my base culture bread and my peely nuts. And so I, you know, took that out after the lights go down, and I'm just sitting there going, I'm a clean eater. And I look over and I'm like, I don't even want that, because I was like, because I don't want to be super sick anymore. And so, like, that's no longer who I am.
Oh, I love that answer. That is so great.
I can still enjoy my movies and not, you know, come out, you know, super hungry or anything. I have my strategy for that.
Yeah. So you came out on the other side of it, but not only that, you don't feel deprived. You're not like,
no, I didn't feel deprived, because if I go in with my own stuff, then I don't feel deprived when I'm, you know, just awash with all this junk around me.
Yeah, yeah, and that's part of the success is as soon as you've made that, you know, that mental mindset shift, and you know that this is a lifestyle and not a diet, and this is something that you're going to be doing from now until that number again, whatever that number is, and that's part of your strategy, because you can't just like, oh, just a little bite, it's not going to hurt me. And we're coming up to slide season. Yeah, and no, those bites those bites will hurt you. It's not about that. So it's not about feeling deprived. It's you've eliminated them, because what we talk about all the time, you know, you might love it, but it doesn't love you back. So, and that's a big part of our course too. So now I had given you the challenge to say, okay, now go through, because you're working on your strategy to get to your number, and you're following the course as we're developing it. Exactly. And so one of the activities is come up with your one word for each decade and where you are now. And then what's nice, the other side of this exercise is finding other words. So if you've got, she had 3 words, I have 5 words, then I'm like, hey, I want to share more words, because hey, I like your words.
Yeah, I like your words. And I was, you know, and I was like thinking about your words, because I had just reread the post before I was doing mine, and I said, okay, well, I love Pia's words, and I'm like, that's definitely not me. So it's like, this is such a great individual exercise, because it's going to be super unique for every person.
Yes, for every single person.
That's what I'm excited for. Like, as other people do this, finding out what their words are. Yes. I love vocabulary. I'm a huge reader, so it's like I always love words.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with your words. So so one word for each decade. So obviously baby to 9, that's your first decade. So what was your one word to define that decade?
Okay, so my first word is vibrant.
Okay, I love it.
I was
love
a
this
super
word.
energetic kid. I was out to take on the world. I thought the world was amazing. I just fell in love with it more every single day. I loved nature. There was a field behind our house, and my mom's like, "Oh, just come back when sunset." And so we would run out there and we would just spend all day there, like playing,
here in California,
exploring. Yeah,
okay.
Because behind us was the field wasn't developed.
Okay.
So there was a big area between a couple of different housing tracts that wasn't developed. And eventually it did. Yeah. You know, it did. It happens.
Yeah.
But you know, the whole time, my 0 through 9, that was there.
Okay.
So that was really fun for me, and you know, I was doing horseback riding. I was doing all sorts of different kinds of activities that were like feeding my soul.
Okay.
And so I was just super vibrant, super happy. We were traveling a lot. Things were good with my parents, at least as far as I could tell.
Yeah.
And
in that age,
you know, you know, we were just exploring and really loving the world, and it was just fantastic.
Okay.
So it was like very, very vibrant.
Okay, I love it. And it doesn't have anything to do with colors. It's just how you just see your time in that decade, right?
I kind of felt like I was just energized. I was glowing. I was just really loving everything that was around me.
Okay, awesome. So that's word number 1 for her first decade. What's word number 2 from 10 until 19?
Okay, you'll like this one.
Okay.
Defiant.
Oh.
Okay, so if my 0 through 9 I was vibrant, I was loving the world, well, you know, 10 to 19 I wasn't so much.
Okay.
Because my parents divorced when I was 13. That hit me really hard. It was ugly, it was nasty, it was court battles, it was horrible.
Oh, no.
And then at 16 my dad married my wicked stepmother. And we just clashed. We never got along. You know, she would say toxic things to me like I was making her fat.
Oh, no.
And, you know, so I was it's just a very defiant phase of like really trying to define myself, but basically butting heads with everybody.
Okay. Okay, wow. And it didn't really start at 10 though. It was kind of mid, so you're feeling like that
but I still feel like it
identifies
it defines that whole
decade.
The whole teenage years. I mean, the teenage years specifically, like maybe not 10 through 12, but you know, but I was getting there.
Yeah.
Because I could sense the tension.
Signs. Okay.
Because it was building.
Defiant. I wonder if that's a word that I'll have from like 60 to 120. I don't know. In a decade.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, because we want to put extra words down, you know, and it's like
yeah,
but I do like vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we're at 30, or sorry, from 20 to 29 is your next word, and because you're 35, you don't get
right.
4
I
words.
I don't get a 4th word yet.
Yes.
I'm only like halfway there.
Yeah, so you could change.
So there's a lot.
Yes,
there's a
you
lot
have a lot
in
of
this
play
thing.
in
So
here.
I'm excited. Yeah. So like 30 to 39 has a question mark, and it's like, okay, I've got 5 more years to define that. And that's also an interesting exercise is what do I want that word to be?
Yes, exactly. Because I just started my 50s and I'm very aware too of kind of what do I want that to be. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so, but 20 to 29 is operational.
Operational.
Okay? So I went full bore into the workforce. I worked for 2 corporations, one for several years and one for 8 years. And so I worked for the Riverside County Library System, and I worked for Borders.
Okay.
So Borders I loved, but I was really in that working mindset.
Okay.
You know, I was doing that whole 9 to 5 thing. I was, you know, doing my own thing within the corporation kind of world rules and everything, but I was really trying to make it more my own. And then I was, you know, kind of getting bogged down by the routine, and then just not really satisfied with where I was. And you know, I was doing, you know, I'm still finishing school, but I was trying to make school work, and there were some really hard financial years in there too. So it was, you know, there were times when I had to stop going to school because I had to focus solely on making enough money to just survive.
And
Yeah. Especially because some of those years had the stock market crashes and stuff in there,
Oh, right.
where, you know, my family lost a lot of net worth.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot of financial struggles going on at that time. So I really had to get in there and, you know, make a living.
Contribute.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know,
Wow.
I've really felt a lot of that pressure.
Okay. So now you're approaching your fourth word,
Mhm.
you know, which you haven't defined yet, obviously, because you
Mhm.
still have options to, you could change the course of that, right?
Mhm.
So what were some of the tips that you have for the people that are going to be watching this video of
Okay.
when you first, you know, thought of the exercise, when I had told you about it, and then when you went through and read the blog, and then how
Mhm.
this applies to you? What were some of the tips that you used or other things that you want to share?
Well, I kind of was I was looking at your words and kind of seeing that, and that was definitely in my mind as I was picking mine.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, well, you did a great job in defining the different decades,
Mhm.
like what was going on in your life, and then how that, you know, like a 2 to 3 sentence kind of thing,
Right.
of how you got to your word.
A descriptor.
Yeah,
of
the
why
descriptor
that's
of
my
why
word.
that's your word and why
Yes.
that mattered to you. So I said, okay, well, if I'm going to do that for me, you know, I'm looking back and saying, okay, well, what was my 0 to 9 like?
Yeah.
And I said, and you know, your word was observant,
Yes.
you know, and my word was vibrant. And so I was like, well, I wasn't really observing as much as I was just jumping right in.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
that's how I kind of got to vibrant.
Okay.
And I looked up a couple different words and like some synonyms, and then I really kind of narrowed down what I wanted
Okay.
and what kind of defined to me at that time.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when I was thinking of my teenage years, I was just thinking of, oh yeah, I was just butting heads with everybody. I was
Right.
really trying to survive a very stressful and turbulent time,
Right.
with my family and with what was going on with our dynamic.
So how are you now using these 3 words to help you on your clean eating journey?
Well, I'm really thinking of this next word,
Okay.
my fourth word.
The 4th word.
You know,
Yeah.
and I'm really thinking, okay, I think it's definitely going to have to do with my clean eating journey.
Right.
Because these last few years, I've been trying to be, in general, more healthy.
Yes.
And, you know, so that was when I, you know, discovered CSAs, and I was trying to up my game on my produce, like
Yeah.
even before I knew clean eating was a thing.
Right. Right.
You know, I was already kind of cleaning up my act to a certain extent.
Right.
So I think that definitely my 30 to 39, my 4th word, will definitely have something to do with my clean eating journey. But I've still got some time.
Yeah, exactly. You
I've still
have
got some time.
Yes.
So by then I'll have really settled in to being a clean eater, and I'm already so different than I was even a year ago.
Right.
At this point in time. So I think it's going to be really exciting to see what that ends up being.
And
But
has this exercise given you like further commitment and
oh, absolutely, because my last 2 words weren't necessarily very positive words.
right,
You know, they were very difficult years.
right,
So my 0 to 9 were fantastic years. I mean, I just loved every minute of the day.
Mhm.
But my last 2 decades, not so much.
right,
I loved a lot of the time, but there was, I think, a lot more time that I wasn't loving things.
yes,
So I'm looking forward to my 4th word being much more positive, and clean eating is a huge part of that.
right. And then you can see forward to your
And then I'm looking forward
5th
to,
year,
and I think,
yeah.
you know, my 5th word will be even more of a positive word. Because
Right.
what I realized is my first word is a very positive word. My second word's
Yeah.
not
Exactly.
quite as positive.
Yeah, yeah. And I think this could be a good exercise too, that you could start to put words down and
Oh, yeah.
say, you know, I want to strive to have these words.
Yeah, like
on
have
to
certain
define
words
my
be
decades.
goals, and
Yes,
I absolutely
exactly.
think that's
Yes.
an awesome thing to do.
Yeah,
Is
because I
to
think
say
that's-
like, well, this is where I've been, and this is where I want to go.
Yeah, and I think that's the second part of this exercise is
Yeah,
if
that's
you're
true.
seeing words that, and that's why I think it's so important that we need to share our words. So if you're able to do this exercise with us and then share your words, then we're learning from that and saying, hey, that word is so awesome. I want to have that word, you know, in my life to help define my
Yeah,
life.
or like, okay, well, that's sort of me, but maybe not really. So what's my word?
Yes. Yeah.
So that kind of could be me, or maybe it was you at a different time. Maybe it was you earlier. Maybe you were more defiant as a younger child and then less so later. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we all are in different places. But I'm really excited to see what other people's words are. I think it's going to be really fun because it's been really exciting just defining my own first 3 words.
I agree. I love it. And thanks for sharing. And I would love for you guys to share with us, because we're all in this together. This is the journey. It's a journey of clean eating. Beth's 85% there. I'm doing great on my journey when it comes to the choices I make with food and where I'm at there. But 3 years ago, I would have, I would probably where you're at. I was 85% there. I still thought, I'll just go and eat. Oh, it's not that bad. And, making excuses. But the more you know, then it starts to change that perspective. So, or at least it did for me. Every time I learn something new, it's like now I know that it's just more important to me at this stage of the game.
And it was also inspiring to me because I want my 4th word to be something really cool.
Yes.
And something that I can be really proud of.
Yes. Yeah, that's so great. I love that. Yes. So please go to IamACleanEater.com and go ahead and read the blog. I'll go ahead and post it, the original blog, on this feed right here that you could just click on it as well. But we would love for you to go to our website. And also, we have a great YouTube channel. So when you're on the website, go to the YouTube subscribe option and then hit the little button there on YouTube that says subscribe. And then you'll be able to watch all of our videos, because we do this on Mondays, but then our collection of videos are on the YouTube channel. So if you love these videos, we would love for you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So that's it for us tonight. We're going to have another exciting topic for you next week. We're continuing to work on our program, which is called Get Food Smart, Join My Tribe, and that will be ready in, hopefully, fingers crossed, in January. Until next time, we'll see you folks. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.